Hello guys, this is Shine from Simplex and we are back with what we promised, the review of this awesome looking laptop. So without wasting any more time, let the intros roll. So guys, firstly, I'd like to tell you I'm going to divide this review section into three parts. The product tour, I'm going to take you through the different parts of the product. Then the pros of the product, and lastly the cons of the product, followed by the final conclusion. So firstly, let's get into the product tour. This laptop has an amazing touchpad guys. It's made out of plastic, but the feel is awesome and it's very smooth. And the best part is I like the fact that it has got a physical boundary around the touchpad. That really makes a lot of difference. Some of them do not have a physical boundary, and that becomes a little difficult to understand when you go outside the touchpad and transcend into the body of the laptop. Then comes the aluminum unibody, an amazing feel. At this price range, an aluminum unibody makes a lot of difference. Then like to shut the laptop down, and the ridged aluminum or brushed aluminum on top of the laptop is seriously a looker. And the Asus branding is also amazing guys. Looks clean but awesome. No glowing factor, but I somehow like this more. Okay, so on the right hand side we have two USB 3.0 ports, one Kensington block port, one HDMI 1.4, one VGA port or D-sub or however you call it, basically a 15-pin video outlet, one RJ45 LAN port. This is a 100 Mbps port, but the click action over is pretty decent. You know, some of the laptops miss this, but I really like this. This makes sure that the port has the connector snugly connected. Next is the DC in or the power connection. This is where you put your laptop in charge. Going to the back is clean, right guys, but there's a small a plasticky papery cover around here. That is because of the cooling of this laptop, the way the cooling is done in this laptop. I'll get into the details a little later of the cooling. Coming to the left hand side, we have a USB 2.0 port. This has the universal receiver of the Logitech connected, because we use Logitech peripherals with this. Anyway, this also has a microphone and a headphone jack, a single jack, so if you are used to using two separate jacks, this is the new norm guys. Every new laptop has this. Anyway, an SD card reader, so you can use the SD adapter and connect it with MMC cards, eMMC cards, micro SD and a number of other cards. Coming to the last part of this side is the DVD drive. Most of the Ultrabooks these days skimp out on the DVD drive, but yeah, DVDs aren't used much, but having this is pretty nice. Now coming to the front section, again, it's pretty clean. Nothing in the front. The front side has only 3 LED lights. The infographic on the screen will tell you what it exactly does. So guys, let's get into the specifications of this laptop, the technical specifications. This laptop is outfitted with a Core i5-5200U. That's right, it's a Broadwell processor. I'll get into why we chose a Broadwell over a Skylake, why we wanted to review this a little later. The next part is a GT940M graphics card outfitted with a 2GB DDR3 frame buffer. Now the RAM. This laptop comes with 4 gigs of RAM, but we wanted to configure this ourselves. So Kunal Uncle, who happens to be a prime sponsor of IT Arena Email, outfitted this laptop with 12 gigs of RAM. Now this laptop has a chiclet keyboard layout. Basically all the keys are individually spaced out, which is really nice for dust removal because the dust doesn't seep in. Also, this also has an edge over, you know, the spill proof factor, right? Now the cooling of this laptop is something that Asus is marketing as what's it exactly, ice cool technology, which keeps the palm rests cool. I'll break this down for you guys. What this means is the entire cooling section is concentrated over here. So the CPU, GPU and all the other chips along with the cooling heat pipes is over here, right? So this keeps this part where you essentially keep your palm very cool. And this might not be something very big initially, But if you're using a laptop which gets really warm around this area, it can get pretty uncomfortable to use. Something very important, guys. Now coming to this section, I said I'm going to elaborate on the cooling section initially, but this is what the cooling is all about. The cooling heat pipes are around here, and this section, a part of it, gets really warm to the touch when you're gaming. So when you're not using the NVIDIA GT940M graphic card, you're using the Intel GPU inside. It comes with the HD 5500. This also has the NVIDIA Optimus technology, which basically lets you use the NVIDIA only during graphic intensive tasks. Okay, now enough of this specifications mumbling. I'll give you, my views on it now. The pros. This laptop is very cheap. The price range of this one is around 45,000 Indian currency. I'm going to quote the Indian currency because I did not see any US prices on this laptop, so in India it's around 45,000. Now why did I choose this over a Skylake to review? Well, the Skylake processors in India right now in 2016, January 2016, gives around a 5,000 to 10,000 rupees bump on the price. That is not worth it, guys. It has a little bit increase in the IPC or instructions per clock, or the graphics is a little better, the internal graphics, but that becomes irrelevant because it is outfitted with a discrete GPU. Next comes the RAM. The base specifications has 4 GB RAM, but this one comes with 12 GB RAM. And lastly, guys, this comes with a DOS operating system, so you'll have to install your operating system separately. Overall, a value for money laptop. Now the pros. The pros, like I said, GT940M, a big pro. You'll be able to play most games in medium settings, and if you lower the resolution, you can go to high or even very high settings if you're playing in HD. The processor is decent, guys. It has got 5200U, which is really good, guys, because it has got hyper-threading and it's got dual core, and it's also pretty sweet on the battery life. Coming to the battery life, this will easily serve you for 4 hours plus, right, guys? But if you want anything more than that, well, you'll have to probably underclock your CPU if you know how to do it. If you don't know, drop in the comments. I'll show you how to underclock your CPU for saving on that battery life. Anyway, coming to the last part, the RAM. The 12 GB RAM is paying off, guys. With so much RAM, what happens is you can actually, multitask a lot more in this laptop. So these are the pros, okay? The CPU, the GPU, and the RAM for this price. And also the display is a full HD display. It's a TN panel, but it has got really good viewing angles, guys. If you go for the vertical, probably that's a 160 degree limited, but horizontally it's easily a 170 degree plus, guys. Trust me on this one. The display is pretty awesome. But coming to the cons, guys, well, I'm going to be a little picky and icky over here, but these are what I consider the cons of this laptop. Firstly, again, I'm being really picky over here. I feel this one should have been made out of glass, if possible. Asus, please consider that. Because this trackpad is really awesome, a touchpad, trackpad, whatever. It's really awesome, but if the glass feel would have given it a much better, feel, like I said. And overall, plastic usually wears out over time, so glass would have been awesome. But the biggest con I feel of this laptop is the hard drive. There's got a 1TB 5400 RPM hard drive, which makes the overall performance very slow, guys. 750GB 7200 RPM is the way to go. And if you can splurge a little bit more cash, take this hard drive out, convert it into an external hard drive with a SATA to USB connector, and install an SSD. A 120GB or 240GB SSD is perfect. 240, 250, 256GB, whatever. But get an SSD. That will give an overall huge boost to the performance of this laptop. And another big con I feel is that the caps lock and the num lock does not have an indicator. I do not want backlight for the entire keyboard, though it would be really awesome to have, but this price range, I do not expect that. But there should have been tiny indicators of the caps lock and num lock. Every time I hit the num lock, I have to press a key and see whether it's caps or... every time I hit the caps lock, I have to press a key and see whether it's caps or without caps. Similarly, with num lock, it's the same scenario, so Asus should have included an indicator. That's pretty much it, I think, about the keyboard. Other than that, the keyboard is fantastic to use. And now it's time to move on to the last con. It is the speaker. Asus calls it Sonic Master, and they advertise that this particular laptop has awesome sound experience, but that is not the case. The speakers are located at the bottom. As a result, what happens is when you're keeping it down on a hard surface, the sound bounces out, right? But while it's bouncing out, you lose a lot of sound over here. And moreover, if you're keeping it on your lap, your clothes absorb most of the sound, thereby really reducing the sound, let's say the volume of the sound, and makes the overall sound experience pretty murky. If the speakers were on the sides or on the top or anywhere around here, I think that would have been much better. That's it about the cons list. Now coming to the conclusion. Should you buy this laptop if your price range is 45,000? Well, in January 2016, absolutely go for it, guys. The closest competitor of this laptop was the HP AB031TX. That particular laptop had more or less all the specs of this laptop, but because of the installed Windows, it was priced higher. Again, Asus, because of, let's say, the branding, okay, HP has a higher brand value than Asus, but make no mistake, guys, this is no slouch. Asus is priced lower. Without the 12GB upgrade, you can get this laptop for 43,000, right? But with the 12GB upgrade, we got this for 45,600 rupees. So guys, all in all, this laptop gets a solid 8 out of 10 from Simplex. A solid buy for 45,000. And if you like this laptop video, guys, let us know. We're going to review more laptops, and let us know about the price range where you want us to target and get you the best laptops in that price range. Guys, if you like this video, like this video. If you did not like it, dislike it, and let us know how can we improve ourselves. Lastly, guys, please subscribe to our channel, as that will help us out a lot. I know, guys, we're having a giveaway, so do check out the link on the cards, and the giveaway, which will be in the cards out there, is going to help you out get awesome gifts from Simplex. Over and out.